You remember that we had a cameo role in Simon Amstell's film, and as a result, they said you can't ever review the film because you had a cameo in it.
Yes.
So I should say at the very beginning of this, there is a new version of The Amazing Mr. Blunden, which is directed by Mark Gatiss. And Kim Newman and I are in the background of a scene, very fleetingly, but I'm putting my hand up and go, therefore, everything I say about this film is compromised.
Do you get an IMDb credit?
I haven't looked. But there is a joke. We are credited in the thing. There's an Exorcist gag at the end of the thing. It's but I'm just saying this to put my hand up for it. Okay, I love the Lionel Jeffries Amazing Mr. Blunden. We've talked about it before. It's based on a book called The Ghost by Antonia Barber, which brilliantly has just come back into print around the same time as the new version by Mark Gatiss. I wrote about it in my PhD on horror fiction, although it's not strictly horror. It's kind of like a riff on Tom's Midnight Garden. It's a ghostly story that involves time travel. And in the Jeffries film, it's a widow in 1918 is visited by Mr. Blunden, told there is an opening to become a caretaker of a derelict country mansion, and that takes them back into the past. In the new version, what Mark Gatiss has done is made the present is the present, and the past is the past. So it's not like a past within a past. And the arc of the story is about righting a terrible wrong. Here is a clip with Simon Callow as the Amazing Mr. Blunden.
Do you think you would be afraid if you saw a ghost?
No.
I guess it would depend on what sort of ghost it would be.
These ghosts might appear to you, well, very much like ordinary people, children perhaps of your own age, or even an old man like myself.
Oh, that would be okay. We wouldn't be scared of anything like that.
Dunno. Spooky kids are the worst. Did you see that movie?
Sometimes ghosts are people who come back seeking help. They cannot rest from the knowledge of the harm they have done and the longing to put it right.
We'd try to help if we could, wouldn't we, Jamie?
You see, I'm already kind of in bits because the Amazing Mr. Blunden or The Ghosts means such a lot to me. Also, lovely music there by Blair Mowat. So what I would say is, bearing in mind the fact that I was already invested in this because I trust Mark Gatiss.
Yes.
Because Mark Gatiss loves both The Ghosts and The Amazing Mr. Blunden in the same way that I do. There's a generation of us for whom that film was really important. And when I heard that he was doing a new version, which is going to be on, it's on Sky Max on Christmas Eve and then from now TV on Christmas Day. When I heard he was going to do a new version, I sent him a thing saying, do not mess it up. And he didn't. And the
No pressure then.
No, exactly. And the reason that Kim and I went down is that both of us have this kind of feeling about that film. I thought it was lovely. I mean, there's some great performances. Tamsin Gregg is great in a role that was previously filled by Diana Dawes. Gatiss himself is Mr. Wickens. What's lovely about it is it's not Jan de Bont's The Haunting. You know, it's not like, well, here is a film that was very low-key, let's redo it with a bunch of special effects in which the house flies. It's a film which is reverential about the source. It isn't scared to update it, but it also still feels, and I mean this is a compliment, like an old-fashioned film. And I'm really happy that I hope it'll introduce a new generation, and I think anyone who sees it will want to go back and watch the original. But it's made by somebody who loves the original, and you can, and I know what this sounds like, you can feel the love in that film because it is lovely. But obviously don't take my judgment because
You're in it.
I'm in it. Albeit for less than a second.